A warm breeze drifted across my dark porch as pungent cigar smoke curled up into the early evening. My oldest son and I were enjoying guy time, after-dinner drinks, and leisurely chitchat, the ladies having moved inside, not relishing the aroma of our Colombian rolled tobacco, nor appreciating the low guttural sounds of men enjoying their dark whiskey. My son asked, "Do you wish I'd get my act together? Get married? Have kids?" The question was a curious one. My son was growing in his profession. His boss, impressed with his business acumen and people skills, surmised that he was soon ready to manage a branch office of his own. My son seemed happy, content, as any young man maneuvering the ways of the world, always with a ready smile and helping hand. He is deeply compassionate toward all friends and family, a warm, nurturing soul who wants everyone to be happy. But like a persistent mosquito itch, I scratched at this question because these are words other people would ask. Why don't you get your act together? We would never ask this question of ourselves. When my life was not going the way I'd wished, hoped, or thought it should be, my thoughts were, I'm not very happy. Or relationships are such a struggle. Or why do I feel this way? It's other people, with or without intent to plunge the knife just that much deeper, who have asked me, why don't you get your act together? This led me to think some people were asking him this same question. It's like someone asking, when are you going to get a real job? We would never ask that ourselves. We would think, I need a better job. When are you going to get a real job is the question others ask to dump their personal judgment on the situation. I mumbled something in reply. I think you're doing just fine, not having had time to process what appeared to be pressure from outside forces, trying to squeeze him into a mold of preconceived ideals that mandated marriage and kids. Like an unintuitive paint by numbers, apparently some thought the art of his life lacked the digits 4, 9, and 13. Within a couple days, I text him a quick message. You do have your act together. It just may not be how others want it. Now that I have had a couple weeks to turn this question over, examine its undercarriage, the unseen dirty place where gunk and tar from road wear collect, I again compared it to my life, when not everything was as I wanted them to be. But more to the point, not how others wanted me to live. I have what I hope now is a better, more thoughtful answer. If only I had had the ability to organize these thoughts that night when the question was asked. When I was struggling with the outcomes of my life, my observations at the time were as follows. I am being judged by others. I feel guilty for not living how others want me to live. I have zero semblance of what is described as inner peace. My relationships lack any sense of triumph or satisfaction. People who are supposed to be on my side are not happy with me, and on and on and on. My life was like driving late at night, knowing my intended destination, but all I have to get me there is a stupid, dim overhead dome light to see a pale, outdated street map. I had no glasses to help me see, no Surrey to admonish, turn around, wrong turn, wrong turn. Frustration was building with, I want to be there, but I don't know how to get there. In darkness, exasperated, I arrived not at the happy house preordained by the ideals of others, but instead a Truman Show existence of agreed-upon conduct, and affirmations, while my personal reality was the futility of living a fake life, with imitation friends, sham relationships, absent any sense of worth, place, or value in a world not of my choosing. My survival evolved into finding value from the approval of others. I lacked personal integrity, public or private authenticity, all because I didn't believe I had value in myself. I hid any real feelings. I slid through my daily existence, not making real connections with real people, with false perfection achieved through airbrushing and Photoshop. I had lots of acquaintances, very few who could stand the test of time and trial, as they too disappeared when I didn't conform to how they saw my life should be. I seemed to be taking flack from all the people I knew, flack created from their own low self-esteem and inner demons. The amazing part is, I thought I had to put up with it. I thought I was supposed to because I was the one who had the problem. I was the one wired differently from others. Like an abused spouse who has been convinced that black is white, gravity is upside down, and tortured put-downs are normal, I had to put up with it because I thought I was the one who was wrong. I learned to live the life of a chameleon, changing hues and outward patterns to blend and conform to the views of those around me, all to achieve approval and survive. I was lost at sea, without drinkable water or cell phone coverage. How was I ever going to find shore, the reality of an authentic life, confident, accepting my personal needs and desires, allowing me to adapt for a time without reducing or neglecting my true self? Reading this, some at this moment would say, "Stop, I have the answer. You must believe X, Y, and Z. That is your problem. You lack a correct belief in the right ways." Yeah, I've had those conversations as well, and my reply is, been there, done that. While it may be true for you, that doesn't make it true for the universe. To gain a foothold on my personal integrity and authenticity, I found the following thoughts and behaviors created a healthier, positive outcome, far more productive than the maps and directions given to me before. To begin the path of authenticity is to be yourself, even if others disapprove. I truly empathize with how extremely difficult this is when you are a person in the midst of figuring all this out, yet it's critical to know who you are and what you need to be authentically healthy. If you do not feel the desire to be married, don't. If you do not feel a parental need for children, don't have them. If you do not wish to own or run your own business, then don't. If accepting these differences causes discomfort in others, don't let them impose their ideas of what you should be and how you should be onto you. Permitting their disapproval to overtake and dominate your inner sanctuary is like opening the front door to a guest who never leaves. You try to be nice, but there is an inevitable disjunction in the relationship, resulting, for me, in feelings of guilt, discomfort, a sense of constant struggle, and a lack of peace with myself and all others. To survive, you cover up, acting one way in public but feeling very different in private. Your life is all about making others happy, or worse, as a submarine initiates aversive maneuvers to avoid a torpedo strike, you too dodge and dart to avoid any displeasure seemingly directed toward you. Acquaintance-type relationships, including arm's-length intimacy, are convenient because they are easier, and there is none of the messiness of truth. Lacking authenticity results in the inability to grow deeper together. A constant struggle ensues. One party is left feeling betrayed and disappointed. Expectations are not fulfilled, and a brightly wrapped box, once a promise of hope and love, is actually, when opened, quite empty. Those who lack authenticity cannot manage, nor can they accept the integration of good and bad in a world where both exist. As a result, when they cannot tolerate what they don't like in others, they become deeply opinionated, rejecting all views not their own. They cannot be happy when others are happy, or root for someone else's success. They are never happy with themselves, always more concerned with image and outward appearances, continuously complaining, perfectionism, nitpicking, and disparaging the choices of others. An authentic, healthy relationship has two things intertwined: grace and truth. Grace is the unbroken, unearned acceptance of myself. This is not being selfish. It's the only way to give unbroken, unearned acceptance to others. Truth is describing what is real with authenticity and integrity, without an agenda for personal gain. If people can't be happy for others, especially with things they would not be personally happy with, the relationship, like a teeter-totter, will be tilted to one side, theirs. We are left high and dry, waggling our legs in frantic motion to secure any solid footing. I have felt this way through several relationships, losing my true self, and the relationship always ended. I believe having your act together is an ongoing struggle to remain within a true and authentic experience. The defense mechanism for a lack of this authenticity and integration is a false self, which no one can sustain forever. It can lead to destruction, evidenced by anger or withdrawal, with a possible lashing out against yourself, suicidal thoughts, or lashing out at others. Haven't we all wished someone were not of this world at one time or another? If I had had the skill to summarize these thoughts on the porch that night when I was asked by my son, "Do you wish I would get my act together?" I would have said the path for a healthy personal life is learning a new way to think. Think like this. Number 1, do not accept the judgments and plans of others for your life. To do so creates a lack of separation between you as an adult and the former you as a child. We have all seen adults who always need the approval of others, or always criticizing or finding fault with others. That's really a child who has not grown up. Place their judgment for your life aside, allowing grace to accept them for who they are in their own struggles, without allowing it to affect yours. Number 2, learn to integrate your authentic life with the world around you. That means acting as yourself with all people, whether in public or private. Not changing who you are or what you like or plans you wish to make just because doing so would make someone else upset with you. If they truly love and accept you, they would encourage your feelings and desires and want to make them come true. You'll also learn who your real friends and relationships are. You'll see them clearly for their own agenda and personal gain, or cry for approval versus wanting what is best for you. Number 3, authenticity and integration lead to a power that will change your life and the lives of others. You will have the power to accept yourself with all your strengths and faults, your own personal wiring, knowing you have value and worth. You might call this the power of I am. You'll have the power to know your capabilities, your skills, and abilities, with a desire to make a positive difference in the lives around you. You might call this the power of I can. And you will have the power to take action when you see a need to fulfill, a person to help, a purpose to accomplish, a goal to attain. You might call this the power of I will. You do have your act together. I am excited to see how your life choices bring value, worth, and goodness to a world that desperately needs you in it.